Howdy partners. Shoots finger guns in the air and makes random cowboy noises. It's time for the RFO Residency Series. Ratting Progression Episode 3, the Gila Monster. We are finally moving to active weapon-based ships. Today we will check out the Gila. This ship is a unique Duristas pirate faction ship based on the Caldari Moa hull. Let's take a look at the basic fit for this ship for combat anomalies. You can see the paper DPS is similar to the Ishtar, but is somewhat split between the active missiles and the drone damage. We are opting for heavy missiles and a passive shield tank. In the low slots we run drone damage amps to increase drone DPS. In the mid slots we opt for a passive shield tank with 3 extenders, a Multispectrum Hardener, a Thermal Hardener, and an Afterburner II SIG tank in a similar fashion to the Vexer. You can see as this is a unique pirate faction ship, it contains split bonuses on the ship, meaning it requires 2 different Empire faction cruiser skills to fly. Each faction cruiser skill provides a bonus to the hull based on level, and it also has a unique roll bonus. In this case, you can see the massive roll bonus to medium combat drone damage and hit points. A Galenti skill bonus of missile damage increase of 10% to kinetic and thermal per level. For the Caldari skill bonus, it increases our shield resistances by 4% a level. This entire pirate faction ship line features shield tank ships, smaller drone bandwidth, highly bonused drone damage, and missile active weaponry. This pattern of bonuses even extends all the way up to the Titan class hull. This set of bonuses and overall power of these ships makes them a common sight in New Eden and allows them to excel in different types of PvE content. It requires a medium level of skills to get into this ship and fit, but provides a similar level of power and earning potential to an Ishtar in combat anomalies. The Gila also performs well in Abyss Dead Space content and is used there heavily. This lets the Gila be a multi-role ship in your hangar and presents a great asset to own and fly. As always, as we undock like in previous episodes, we want to do a quick checklist. Modules placed in our hotkey slots we want, drones in a folder to make launching them easy, eyes on local to make sure it's safe. Picking a site is similar. We will try a haven today. Like always, you want to directional scan the potential site to check it is clear of anyone. I hit a few of the sites with scan and see no friendly in them and check they are rock havens by warp canceling to catch the NPC screen pop up. There is my NPC screen warning of the site, so I know I have a clear Rock Haven site to land in and start ratting. As we warp in, double check hardeners are on. This is a passive shield tank, so we don't have any active shield boosters. I will drop my mobile tractor unit on landing, quickly bookmark it for quick looting on return. Set my orbit to 25K on the big rock structure. Depending on the sites you run, you may wish to orbit one of your drones, and MTU, or other landmark in the combat site. The goal is to orbit something that allows you to remain in range of enemies but maintain your velocity to keep up your transversal to make it hard for the enemies to land hits on your ship. The general kill order I utilize with the Gila is smallest to biggest: frigates, destroyers, cruisers, battlecruisers, and lastly battleships. There is some nuance in the Gila's target priority. As we are using heavy missiles with longer range and a higher orbit distance, the flight time of missiles becomes a factor. You may move your drones to the next target and use your missiles to finish off low HP enemies to not waste volleys, or do the reverse. Move your missiles and let your drones finish off the low HP ships. Pairing this idea with the previous one I mentioned in the last episode of manual drone targeting to minimize drone travel time between ships will boost your earning potential. As you gain more experience and higher skills, you will learn the different sites, spawn patterns, and kill priority. This will lead to you maximizing your gameplay and increasing your payouts. Going to speed up gameplay for the remainder of video, but you will notice on the final wave I end up getting a rare Shadow Serpentis ship spawn. This awards me roughly 300 million ISK in modules on top of the 22 million in bounty payouts, 10 to 20 million in loot in my tractor unit, and potentially 10 to 14 million in salvage from the wrecks at the end. As you can see, running havens is a very lucrative activity, and if you practice safe piloting, your ratting can pay off big. As you might notice, a majority of the damage is from the drones, so while this is our first progression ship that is active, it's still not fully carried by its weapons system. Overall, the Gila falls slightly below the Ishtar on power projection / clear speed of havens, but offers an easier skill path and differing input level for gameplay. Depending on your goals or career path, you usually choose between which ship to path towards in your skill training. If you plan on running abyssal space sites, the Gila may be the favorite skill path for you over the Ishtar, but eventually you will be able to fly both ships as long as you train into heavy assault cruisers and finish off level 5 Gallente cruisers. For rock havens, be mindful to safely spawn the final wave. You will have 3 waves of frigates followed by a wave with roughly 6 battleship and cruiser NPCs. Upon the final kill of the wave, you have a rare chance to spawn a Dreadnought Capital or Overseer battleship. If you cannot handle the Dreadnought, warp off grid and inform local chat so pilots do not warp into the site unaware and lose a ship. You have multiple options to handle the Dreadnought, which won't be covered here as they are much higher skilled pieces of gameplay. But in general, if you cannot solo the ship, you are advised to inform standing fleet or local residents of the system, and someone who can clear the site will probably step in to kill it, as they offer bounties in excess of 60 million up to 120 million. The Dreadnought spawns are deadly for all but the most skilled pilots in specific ships. They have a stasis webifier, heavy energy neutralizers, and a warp disruptor that hits out to 70 kilometers. In this case, we spawn an Overseer battleship and get a faction damage control module and roughly 300 million in loot. In our next episode, we will be covering the king of sub-capital missile ships, the Golem. It is a marauder and features a purely active style of gameplay. Fly safe and stay classy.